All right, it's still good morning, Anambra, and we are so delighted to have you. Like I told you, we have more on Good Morning Anambra show. Now, what we have to do is to talk about a very important topic of discussion, of interest to us as Ndi Anambra, and of course, something that will bring more development to us if we heed it the way we should. We have the topic that says taxes and sustainable development. Actually, this is a civic duty or responsibility of every individual to aid in all-round development. In the studio this morning, we have the chairman of AIRS, Nzekwe. Nzeku. Is it Nzeku or Nzekwe?
David Nzeku.
David Nzeku. Okay, tell us, you're the chairman of AIRS. What's AIRS?
AIRS is the Anambra Internal Revenue Service.
All right.
It's the operational arm of the Anambra State Board of Internal Revenue.
All right. My first question now is, we, in this part of the country, we are mostly Christians. Even non-Christians know that Jesus actually paid tax, you know, and he also encouraged people to pay tax. I will be specific because where he encouraged people to pay tax, he encouraged them in Romans 13 verse 7. He encouraged us to pay our taxes. Then in Matthew 17:27, he actually paid tax, where he said, pay for me and for you, you know. And we keep finding it difficult to pay our taxes in this part of the country when we actually say we are Christians. What do you think is the problem?
I think the problem is that there has been a long period of time that people didn't understand that payment of their taxes is their civic responsibility. But I can tell you for sure that we are seeing significant improvements in people coming up to pay their taxes at the moment in Anambra State. Even though we know there is a lot of room for improvement, but we are seeing some good improvements of people coming up to pay their taxes now.
Okay, simply because we've relaxed for a long time, we've not paid tax, that's why we don't pay.
You know, because before now, the government relied more on the revenue that was coming from the sale of crude oil. So there wasn't this level of drive to get people to understand that they have that responsibility to pay their taxes. But with the revenue drying up from the oil sources, several state government, federal government are now looking inwards to see how they will generate revenues.
But should that be a reason why we shouldn't pay tax in the first place? When we have oil, you know, government looked over people paying taxes. You know, is that a reason?
So probably now, if the federal government finds another source away from oil, would revert back to what we used to do.
Is that supposed to be so?
No, it's not supposed to be so. However, that is the situation where we have found ourselves. So because there was this money coming from other sources, the pressure on people to pay their taxes wasn't what it is now becoming. And then a lot of people relaxed because they were not, they didn't see the need to pay their taxes.
Why do you think most people refuse to pay tax? What do you think is the reason why most people refuse to pay tax? Or most organization, or most private, whatever, people who are supposed to pay tax? What's the reason you think that makes them not want to pay these taxes?
We may not say most. We can say many people, many organizations don't pay their taxes because naturally, you know, everybody wants to save. So you don't want to spend more. So the tendency is that people wouldn't want to spend more money. They wouldn't want to pay their taxes, but it is their civic responsibility to pay their taxes.
It brings me to this next question because, you know, when we talk about tax in Nigeria, you know, a lot of people, when you tell them, they get angry. Some people, when you tell them, they don't want to talk about it. But if you go to the Western world, they're happy to pay tax. They know this is what they want to, they should do. They do it and they're happy they do it, and now they see the results of what they do. Do you think it's one of the reasons why most times they complain, the stakeholders, the private sector, when they talk about these taxes, like, why do I even have to pay tax? What's the reason? When I probably don't even get to see why I'm paying the tax.
No, I don't think that people are.
It just brings me to my next question. For all the people who probably pays this tax, your organization, AIRS, what is the positive things, for example, in the Anambra now, have seen as regards to payment of taxes?
Well, we need to recognize the fact that it is the revenue that government generates from taxes and other sources that is used to provide social services, to do pay salaries of civil servants, and provide health facilities, provide roads, provide street lights, and run the state. So it is the revenue that is derived from the tax sources and other sources that is used to do all those. So it's important that if we want development, then we need to ensure that we pay our taxes and other levies, charges for services that the government provide in order to keep the state running.
Okay, now, Ndi Anambra have seen in the recent, I think last 2 weeks, there's this massive drive for people to come up and pay their taxes. Companies, offices, and there are some offices that were sealed recently. Let's take a look at the pictures there. Our news people covered it where your office went on rampage to seal offices that have refused to pay their taxes. Now my question is, before you people went for this drive, did you ever let the people know that this is what they ought to do and they failed to do it before you took the action?
We have been carrying out public enlightenment to educate the citizens that it is their responsibility to pay their taxes, which is also what we are doing here today. As a matter of fact, we are selling off more companies in Anambra today. 2 weeks ago, we shut down 16 companies.
Wow,
across
16.
16 companies. And we have a number of companies that will be shut down today.
Today?
Yes. Well, what we do is we rely strictly on the provisions of the tax laws. And for us to seal up any company, we go through the court process to obtain a court order.
Okay, ab initio, did you write the companies that this will be the result when you don't come up to pay your tax?
Yeah, exactly. Well, normally, it follows through a process. Sometimes we spend as much as 1 year in the process to get a judgment before we levy execution.
And during this process, they know, right?
They know. What is done, really, is that it's a good opportunity, I believe, to speak to the Anambra people. Every company, every business that operates in the state is expected by law to register with the tax authority within 6 months of starting operations. And they are also expected to render annual returns every year. So before the 31st of January of this year, businesses in the state are expected to render their returns for the previous year. And also, individuals are expected to render their returns before 31st of March
this
of
is
every
Nigeria,
year.
and we are all here. We know how the system works. I don't know. Most of these countries, they may be feeling, how transparent is this process? Coming to render my profit at the end of the month or at the end of the year, as the case may be. Tell us how transparent, for the benefit of those people watching this program, how transparent is this process to let them know that they have to come to the office, to render their account?
Okay, it's a very transparent process. I want to, finish what I'm trying to explain.
Go ahead.
So the businesses are expected to render their tax returns, following which the tax authorities will conduct annual tax audits to verify that the figures submitted to us is the correct figure. However, where we come for audit and the companies fail to allow our team to conduct the audit, there are other provisions of the law that enables us to do what we call best of judgment assessment.
All right, hold it there. We'll still get back to you. But please, if you're watching us, this is audience participatory. You have the opportunity to call. There are numbers on your screen, but that will be after we've gone for this break and come back. We'll be right back.
I like healthy food. I love tasty food.
You don't have to compromise on health or taste when making your meals. With new Mamador seasoning cubes, you can cook delicious meals and still take care of your family's health. The only seasoning cubes with 30% RDA of iron and zinc to boost your family's immune system while satisfying their taste buds with a unique, long-lasting flavor. Available in chicken, beef, and
All right, glad to have you back on the program. We are here with David Nzeku, who is the chairman of Anambra Internal Revenue Service. Is here in the studio telling us the need for you to go and pay your taxes for sustainable development. Now, before we went for break, there was a question I asked you: how transparent is this processes? Because in a system where we've seen that some things are not as transparent as they should, and me owning a company, I'll be asking, why do I need to go through a process that is not transparent? So tell us how transparent your system is.
Thank you very much. The system I was trying to explain is as transparent as you, first of all, renders your return by yourself. We encourage people, where possible, to use experts, consultants, to prepare their reports and send to us. Then we will notify you that we will be coming to conduct an audit transparently. When we come to conduct audits, we will sit down with the company and review their books. If they have any objections, they can raise objections. When we establish a figure, even if it is not resolved in the premises of the taxpayer, we will write to them.
All right, let's see what we said before we go on.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
All right, it seems we're having issues with network here. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so we will write to them. Even if we establish a figure, we will write to them. We'll give them opportunity to object the figures if they believe that there is anything wrong with the figures until we have a resolution. So it's a very transparent process in the calculation of taxes.
Okay, you said something about people, coming to submit or pay, their returns first. I want to know the process of paying this tax. Do you guys go to collect this tax, or do the company, involved in this come to pay their taxes at your office? Because we've heard of people who probably disguise as AIRS, operatives to probably get some of this taxes from people, and which we know is not acceptable. So what's the process of paying this tax?
Okay, we need to first of all distinguish between taxes, fees, levies, and charges. But what we are talking about is taxes. The taxes that are paid to the state government is the personal income tax of people that live within the state. So it is there is a systematic process of calculating those taxes. You may be referring to people that collect levies and dues from people in the market and parks. That's not what we are talking about when we discuss tax. What we mean is the tax that people pay on income that they have made. So there is a process of computation of taxes. You have your relief, and then when we deduct, we take care of those reliefs that is every individual is entitled to. Depending on the income that people make, it is graduated. So we work out the tax that they need to pay.
Okay, have you guys in any way experienced anything about as illegal, people who probably tend to stand in a position to take these taxes that are not meant to be taking these taxes?
Yeah, we have issues.
That's impersonation.
Yeah, we have issues of people talking to people. It does happen. However, you can only pay to the government account. So if an individual is asking you to pay tax to his personal name or to his company name, that is pure fraud. And we expect that every matured adult would know that when you are paying to an individual, you are not paying to the government. So every government revenue is paid into government account. Any government revenue that is not paid into government account is fraud.
All right. Now, there was a picture that Ogonna painted earlier about Western countries where people pay taxes and, they see the value for their money. Now, some of our people are like, why do I have to pay tax when I don't even have electricity in my house when I come back? So for a clearer understanding of what Anambra State is doing, because I believe Anambra State, they are blazing the trails, so to speak, in virtually all the sectors. Tell our people what the Anambra State government has in mind by this massive drive they are doing, and of course, what they intend to, get at the end of the day as value for their taxes which they've paid.
It is like I've said earlier, it is the revenue that government derives from taxes and other sources that the government uses to provide.
I want you to be specific. Let our people know that this is what government is doing. This is what we plan to do with your money when we get, I think you should understand where I'm going.
Yeah.
This is to, enable people to come up and say, oh, so this is what is happening. Maybe I should start paying and see if it works.
Because for me, it's just clear. I know Nigerians to be, we are people who like good things. And you see Nigerians who keep telling you, I don't have money, I don't have money. Let that product be quality. The money will come out.
Very good. If you like good things.
Before we continue, let's see who is here. Hello, good morning. All right, go ahead.
If we like good things, we simply pay for good things. Now, if you look at Anambra State now, the state government is currently embarking on Light Up Anambra project. Now, in every community in the state, as you travel around the state, you will appreciate where government is spending the taxpayers' money, providing them with street lights. If you look at the connectivity of roads in Anambra State, you will appreciate where government is spending money, providing the entire communities in the state with good roads. If you look at the quality of education from Anambra State, you will appreciate where government is providing free education for our people and then training our people who go out there to compete in the world space and excel. So if you look at JAMB results, you look at WAEC results, you will appreciate the money that government is investing in providing those facilities. If you look at the health sector, you will appreciate the money that the government is investing in providing health facilities for citizens. So in Anambra State, we have been lucky to have a wonderful governor in the name of Chief Dr. William Madabro-Chukwuobiano that is well focused, utilizing the money that is being generated from various sources and putting them to effective use.
All right, for want of time, you're going to give us the number that people will call or where they will send text in case of any foul play in the course of paying their taxes, because this is our country. We know how it operates.
Okay, now, before I give the number, let me point out that His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, had issued a directive that there should be no collection of revenues that are being collected by agents across the state until June. However, we noticed that people are continuing to flout those directives. Last week, we arrested about 60 people. We have sent people in the field, and I want to use this opportunity to advise all those that are involved in illegal collection of revenues to stop it immediately. We will arrest anybody that is caught collecting illegal taxes, whatever they call it, from citizens, and we'll prosecute them in accordance with the tax laws.
All right.
The phone numbers, we have also set up a call center where people can ring to reach to our team if anybody you suspect is collecting illegal revenue from you. The phone numbers are 070 66 72 7750. There is a second number, 090 53 23 4816. We also have a WhatsApp number where if you see any person that you suspect that is collecting illegal revenues, you can take a picture or a video of the person and send it to this number, 070 677 82668. And our team will respond accordingly.
All right. At this point, we'd like to appreciate you so much for watching and, of course, getting to hear it from the master himself, the chairman of Anambra Internal Revenue Service, David Nzeku. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
And on this note, we'd like to thank you so much and urge you to sit back because we are coming back with more on Good Morning Anambra.